Okay guys, well, thank you so much for joining and wanting to learn a little bit more about the Royal Queens of Fashion. So this video is really just going to be talking about the history of the Royal Queens of Fashion, just to give you guys a really good overview of, just who we are and what we want to do and the impact that we want to have. So the Royal Queens of Fashion, it was the summer of I want to say it was 2013. Pretty sure it was 2013. It was a pretty tough year. So a little bit of background history. I had just came back from Woodbury University, which was the college that I was attending. And I came back, I was stressed, I was really broken and just trying to figure out where I wanted to go. And so I was trying to figure everything out. And it was a pretty tough year. It started off with the loss of my grandpa happened in 2012. No, it was the beginning of 2013. I'm sorry guys, I'm really horrible with dates. So I mean, it was really back-to-back stuff. So I lost my grandpa in January of 2013, which was a really tough time for me and my family. And then I had a falling out with my mom. That's like an every other day thing. We have a like semi-love hate relationship. I don't know, something went terribly wrong, I think. And so I got kicked out of my mom's house and I went to go stay with my cousin, and then somehow within the first couple of days, so I was working at JCPenney's, which it was a horrible experience, by the way. They treated me really bad. And it was just, I didn't have a lot of fun there. It was a horrible experience. I was like 18 or 19, probably 20. I was closer to 20. And it was just really bad. So I had not worked there anymore. I quit, and I was trying to get into FIT because I was thinking like, this is where I gotta go. This is how I'm gonna make my impact in fashion. And I'm staying with my cousin, and then me and my cousin have a falling out. And it was just a mess. So then finally, I think stuff is going straight for me because I moved back in with my mom. And I finally nailed a job that I thought I was gonna like. I was a night auditor at some hotel around here. It wasn't a really great hotel, but whatever. And so I was supposed to be some girl's replacement. And then they had me work with her, and then she spread rumors. I got fired from there, and I was just an angry mess. I was mad at the world, really, and I didn't think there was any place else for me to go. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I couldn't move out to FIT even though I had gotten accepted, and it was just a really tough time. And so for me to cope with that, at the time, it was a really good friend. We started discussing some stuff, and I had this crazy idea that I wanted to become a millionaire in a year. And I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I was going to do it because I'm tired of being put out of people's houses. I was tired of, not having a stable job, which I really didn't love in the first place. I really had my eyes set on fashion and doing stuff in the industry with that. So I was like, I'm going to make a book. I'm going to write down how I do it, and I'm going to make $1 million in a year. And so I started this crazy idea, and I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to do it? I was like, all right, well, what's popular? 2013, apps were popular. Apps were like super popular. So I'm thinking like, oh my goodness, if I could just make an app about fashion. And, after countless, discussions and just random ideas, finally I remember the day that the Royal Queens of Fashion was born, because, I'm a person, I like to go on journeys with people, and if I feel like you're a person that's going to be in my life for a very long time, I want to include you in that. I want you to, I want you to be as successful or just, more successful than me. And so I included at the time, my friend in the idea of, just creating an app, and she was like, oh, this is a great idea. We should totally do something with this. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, but we need a name. And I was thinking like, okay, a name. And I had already had a business idea that I wanted. It was very similar to the Royal Queens of Fashion, something that I had actually started when I was in high school. It it was one of those things where I was thinking about some stuff, and I put some stuff together. I'm like, we're queens, because, you know, we are. This is what I want to be called, as a queen. We love fashion, something with queens in fashion, and boom, it hit me. The Royal Queens of Fashion. At the time, it really didn't have a really significant meaning. At the time, it was just like, oh my god, that's awesome, I could go get that tattooed. You know, I was 20, okay? Look, I don't know what was going on. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a fashion club, it's gonna be awesome, and everybody's gonna love it, and we're gonna be millionaires. Well, I'm still not a millionaire, and I'm still working on that idea. That idea has not left my head, and I'm 23 now, so 3 years later, I haven't quite figured out the ingredients to make a millionaire, but I'm working on it. And if anybody has a shortcut, you should let me know. So that's really how it all got started, and I'm a person that I like to do stuff and try to figure it out and plan it while I'm doing it, and you know, you really don't know what you don't know. And that's something that I recently just learned. So I didn't know that I was going to need as much planning as what my friend at the time, she kind of figured out that we were going to have a little bit more planning. And I was just like, no, let's do it. Let's get it done. Let's just do it. And I mean, we kind of like had a like semi idea of how to get some stuff done. And long story short, it kind of just like flopped, like a really big like, and to be honest, there are a list of reasons why we flopped. One, I'm in Michigan. She at the time is in California, and we rarely had any time to record. And sometimes we couldn't agree on what to record about. Sometimes we couldn't agree about how to promote the business. Sometimes, I mean, like, there is a long list of reasons why it did not work. And so towards the end, so as a lot of you guys know, we put out one of our last videos together at the end of 2014 in December, stating that we'd be back at the beginning of this year. And a lot has happened since then. So the person that I had originally discussed this idea with is no longer with me, and she's no longer a friend, and it hurts a little bit because, you know, something like this as a business, you never want it to take effect in your personal life, and it did. And I think it's made me a little bit stronger. I honestly didn't see it coming. And going forward, I would never mix a personal relationship with a business. I wouldn't do it. And that's just a little tip for anybody out there who's thinking about doing some stuff. If you do decide to do something personal and business related, I would definitely have a set, like, okay, this is with the business only, this is set times we talk about the business, this is how we do it with the business. Make sure you guys separate business and personal, so that way it does not take an effect on your personal life. It's horrible, you don't want it to happen to you. But going forward, the Royal Queens of Fashion has really developed into something powerful, I think. It's a woman empowerment group to let everybody know that they're beautiful. I mean, the Royal Queens of Fashion, when you think about it, like, oh, what does that mean? Like, the Royal Queens of Fashion, right? Doesn't it make you just want to say it just like that? And so this is really just something where I am, going to be helping women, because there are so many women out here that don't know that they're beautiful, and I think that is a crime. I think it's a crime to not know that you're beautiful. I think it's a crime for people to tell other people that they're not beautiful. What defines beauty? And we'll talk about that in a different episode. I mean, it's just so much, and it also is, in the industry, it's so hard to break into it. I want to be able to help other people. I want to be able to show other people stories of how they've broken into it, and just, you know, give you guys some experiences and inspire you to really dig deep, and no matter what you want to do, and make it work for you. So the Royal Queens of Fashion has developed into at the time a silly idea that a 20-year-old had about becoming a millionaire, and really has turned into a movement where I feel like I can really affect a lot of different people in the world with this. And I really hope you guys stay tuned for this journey. I think it's gonna be awesome. I think it's gonna be great, and I'm really excited to see where this all goes. You know, I can only hope that it would lead me to my destiny of $1 million and more, but you never know. And I leave it in God's hands, honestly, and we will definitely see where it goes. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in for this video. I'm glad you guys wanted to know a little bit more about the Royal Queens of Fashion. You guys stay tuned. We will have a lot more stuff coming, I promise. All right, you guys, take it easy, okay? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.